One of the most important tools that phoneticians use in the study of speech sounds is the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA. In this lecture, we will focus on the explanation of why we need such an alphabet and how the chart of the IPA symbols is organized. Let's start with a few arguments for why we need a special phonetic alphabet as a system of recording sounds. Look at this list. In it, you see my first name written in 6 different scripts used in languages across the world. And it is only 6 scripts out of nearly 300 writing systems used in the world. As you can see, using an actual writing system of a specific language to represent sounds is not very convenient. All humans have the same vocal apparatus and are capable of producing the same sounds, even though not every language contains every sound, of course, but they have different scripts. We need a system that can represent the sounds of all languages, regardless of which writing system they use. And we also need a system that can represent the sounds of languages that actually do not have a writing system at all. And even in languages that do have a long-established script and writing conventions, the actual spelling systems are problematic. Consider English, for example. The letter combination EA can be pronounced in at least 5 different ways. E as in speak, A as in break, E as in bread, ear as in beard, and air as in bear. There's 5 different ways, represented in the exact same spelling. The opposite can be true too. We can have the same sound expressed through different letters. Consider the sound E. It is represented by the letter I in machine, the combination EA in speak, 2 E's in green, 1 E in here, EI in receipt, IE in brief, and Y in pretty. That is 7 different ways to spell a single sound. So spelling is clearly unreliable when it comes to representing sounds. That is why in the late 19th century, linguists began developing the International Phonetic Alphabet. It is a bit Eurocentric, using the Roman alphabet as its foundation. This is due to the fact that the first steps at developing it were made in France in 1886, when some French and English teachers formed a professional association for those who were teaching speech in foreign languages. They, of course, took the Roman alphabet that they were already using as the basis for IPA. The alphabet is used to record the very specific speech sounds for further analysis, regardless of the language in which the words are spoken. It is continuously updated based on what we learn about different languages of the world. The topmost part of the IPA chart contains pulmonic consonants. That is, consonants produced when we expel air from the lungs. You will notice that the chart is organized with places where the sounds can be produced, listed at the top, and the manner in which they are produced, listed at the side. We can find each sound at the intersection of its place and manner of articulation. For example, H is a palatal fricative consonant. We will learn what it means in a later lecture. When there are 2 sounds in the box, the one to the left is voiceless and the one to the right is voiced. So H is voiceless and R right next to it is voiced. Again, we will learn what it means a little later. Non-pulmonic consonants are presented in a smaller table just below the pulmonic ones. The table is divided into clicks, voiced implosives, and ejectives. Feel free to go to the previous lecture to review what these terms mean in terms of how the air is expelled or taken in during the sound production. Then, to the right of the non-pulmonic consonants, you will find a vowel chart. As you can see, this chart is a little slanted on the left. That is because it reflects the shape of our mouth. The horizontal line at the top represents the roof of our mouth. The horizontal line at the bottom of the mouth, where the tongue lies. We have more area to move the tongue at the top than at the bottom. The next part of the IPA chart contains diacritics, that is, additional symbols that can help us differentiate between specific sounds even further. For example, we can use the superscript H to differentiate between aspirated and non-aspirated sounds. For example, D is not aspirated, but T is. Aspiration is a little extra puff of air we sometimes produce, and in some languages it can make a difference in the meaning between two otherwise identical words, so it's an important thing to notice and record. Then we have a small chart of symbols for sounds that do not easily fit into the above categorization. Sometimes it is because they involve double articulations. Then we have a list of symbols we use to mark suprasegmentals, such as sound length, syllable breaks, word stress, pauses, and so on. Another list provides symbols for intonation and tones, especially important for languages such as Mandarin, Cantonese, Thai, Vietnamese, Yoruba, Navajo, and a dozen others. When we put all the pieces together, we get this full chart. You can also find it in your textbook. In our next lecture, we will talk about the articulation of English consonants, and we will rely on this chart and its components. See you next time.